Hi. So Venus just entered Sagittarius. So I'm going to share my screen and let's have a look at what that looks like in the sky. So here it is just for my local time in Colorado. Here's where the sun is. We can't see anything because the sun is up and Venus just entered Sagittarius. And let's turn on the constellations so we can kind of see where that is. And then let's go ahead and turn off the bright sun. And there is Venus right here, just entering Sagittarius, coming into a square with Saturn over here on New Year's Day. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but let's zoom in a little. I'll slide things over so we can just have a closer look, right? So Venus enters Sagittarius just at the tail end of the Scales constellation, moving into the Scorpion constellation, right here with Antares, one of the royal stars, the heart of the Scorpion. And then here is galactic center, the center of our galaxy, the thick part of our Milky Way that the sun just crossed over when we had the solstice, right? This is where zero Capricorn is and where Venus will eventually get to, right? So let's talk about Venus and Sagittarius, right? So Venus, our divine feminine expression, the yin aspect of the Chinese yin and yang symbol, has moved into Sagittarius today. And that is all about the fiery, intuitive, taking action sign. I'll just stop my screen share because we're done looking at this part and we can look at each other. So Sagittarius is a serving spirit sign. So it's always looking through that lens of how do I serve something larger? And Sagittarius does that by seeking, being on that spiritual quest, looking for the meaning of life, like what are the true principles of life. And so that's the opportunity for us right now, while Venus has moved into Sagittarius over this time, is to look at what are we seeking, our spiritual quest. And I feel like that aligns really well with like the whole solstice, New Year time, right? The solstice is the solar new year, the beginning of the sun's year in the northern hemisphere, and then the new year, right, when we like set our intentions and our resolutions for the entire year, etc., right? So Sagittarius helps us seek and find that meaning and that purpose of our lives as we're spending this still time of the winter, reflecting, where are we at, where do we want to be going. Venus moving into Sagittarius is like helpful. It wants to help us like take action and look and seek and step into more of our spiritual being within our feminine expression. So that's nice. And then also we're in the time of Venus is still in the heart chakra. So there's a lot of opportunity until January 8th to, what are we seeking around like love, self-love? We're still in a Leo kind of overtone for this Venus cycle. So self-love, where do I block my love? Where do I block expressing my love? So going seeking for the answers, the truths around where we are in our hearts. And then on the 8th, the crescent moon will meet with Venus, which let me just share my screen again and we'll take a little look at that. And that signifies where we are moving into the solar plexus chakra. So I'm just going to advance this ahead to the 8th. And there we go. There's the moon right there. See, so we'll just zoom in a little, slide this over, and we can see there is Venus. We'll have crossed over with Antares. The moon is right here. And so on its way to meet with the sun for the Capricorn new moon, right? All of these celestial things. So following that oldest myth we have written on those cuneiform tablets, which is literally about the Venus cycle, When that crescent moon meets with Venus, it's when Venus is moving through another gate on her way to the underworld, which will occur when Venus meets with the sun, passes on the other side of the sun. But on this journey, this particular conjunction of moon and Venus means we're moving into the solar plexus chakra. That's the gate, right? So it's a time of this Sagittarius kind of seeking, leaning into what's the meaning, right, about our power and how we stand in our power and use our power. So Sagittarius lends itself to seeking, right? I keep using that word because it's Sagittarius, seeking what is happening for us in our solar plexus and what do we need to clear and cleanse from our solar plexus chakra that prevents our fullest expression of our power, standing fully in our power and using it for our creative good. So wishing you well through this time of Venus in Sagittarius at the solar plexus chakra.